Oh, for Pete's sake. Hey, good morning, everybody. Happy Sunday. Hope you got your cup of coffee. This is Scotty. This is the unofficial Intrepid Radio, but not really. It's Sunday. And it's our time we get together and we let our hair down and not have to worry about anything, about being perfect or doing this or that. It's just our time to get together on Sunday morning and chat. And it lasts as long as we want it to or as short as we want it to. Today, my wife Raini is off for another week at Scout Camp with our oldest daughter, our 12-year-old. And they're going to Scout Camp. Rainy would have to go even if the child wasn't going because she's a Scout leader. So and then they get back, and within a day or two, I think, they're gone in Alaska up at her sister's for 2 weeks. So I've got 3 weeks without my wife or my oldest daughter. And it's their time to, she goes up and she tries to bring one of the kids every year. And so I think it was Flynn went last year. And I hear you, says Susie Q. You're the only one in the chat room so far, Susie Q. Welcome. And I don't know how the show started. I like to, about a minute or two prior to the show starting, I throw up the graphic like this. So we're live radio. I'm just out, not on the screen. And so I started it up and I walked in the other room to grab some more coffee and blah, blah, blah. And I came back in and StreamYard had stopped it going online because I'm no longer on X Premium. And not that I've quit it totally. I just didn't pay it this last month. And so I'm not on X Premium, so I can't go live. So it wouldn't let it go live anywhere, I don't think. And I had to come in and I'm like, oh, crap, or something like that. So I don't know if any of that was broadcasting or not. So when I first sat down, but cheers anyway, here we are. Hey, Delaney, good to see you. If you all are here, come in and sound off. Tell us you're here and say good morning. And I'm going to take a sip of coffee. I'm going to take down that. And here we are. It's Sunday. Let's throw up a banner. How about that, huh? This one. Boom. It's Sunday. So now we're officially here. And wow, my room seems wider on the screen today for some reason. I must have pushed the computer back where the camera is or something. So, or I moved the flag. That was it. I moved the flag. It was over there. And it filled up that gap and it made it look like the room was. So you get it. It's all visual. And so how's your morning? What's going on, folks? It's a busy week. It's very hard to try to avoid doing political talk because our politics are so wrapped up in our current events these days. So it's really hard to avoid certain things, but I don't want the show to become strictly a sorry, my hood is pulling funny on my collar. I don't want this show to become strictly a political show where that's what we talk about. I definitely have a one view, and some of you don't. Some of you have a different view. Don't agree with my view, I should say. That's okay. I'm going to push the side I believe in, that I believe is the best way to go. So whenever I talk politics, you're going to hear that. That's going to come out naturally. So Pearl Jones made moon water and cleansed my black mirror and my runes, my new spirit rods. Oh, are you? Thank you, Susie Q. Should I listen to your show Friday late? It was a good show. Thank you. So Pearl Jones, what's moon water? Is that water that you let stand in the waxing moon as the moon goes full? So like the same thing as charging cards, I would take my whole deck of tarot cards, which I happen to have just sitting out here right now. I'd take this whole deck. When I was in Egypt last, I don't think I've done it since that, but Egypt was, so they're long overdue. Was the last time I was there was 2016, believe it or not, 8 years ago. Because 2017, I had the heart attack and the heart surgery and all that. And I didn't travel for a few years after that. And I haven't been to Egypt. There hasn't been a call, reason to go other than to say, I just want to go. But the last time I was there, I laid this whole deck out face up on the deck of the ship. We were on the boat and in the full moon in Egypt, down floating on the River Nile. So that was pretty cool to say that I was able to charge these cards then. But I think that charge probably needs some recharging. New moon or the full moon just passed us, or it's coming. I'm not sure. Hey, good morning, Griff. How you doing? I'm not sure if you have been here before. From your icon, you are is that a long white beard and sunglasses? Is that who I might think it is, or somebody else with a long white beard? Good morning and welcome if this is your first time here. Sunday morning, if this is your first time here, casual. This is not the main radio show that we do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and during the week. And this is the side show that Raini and I, my wife Raini and I, were doing for a long time. She hasn't wanted to do it for a long time, but I still leave it open. It's Sunday with Scotty and Raini. Every now and then she'll come down and say hi. Today she has to, and she makes an appearance every now and then. And she may come down and say hi this morning because they're leaving about midway through this show for Scout Camp for a week. And we're not having a big send-off with a flourish or a fanfare or anything like that. It's just another Scout thing. And so she's loading up, has already loaded up with the young daughter, the 12-year-old, and they're doing Scout Camp. Rainey's a Scout leader. So we met recently at a store I work at. Oh, okay, fantastic, Griff. I think I know exactly who you are then. So what we've got going here on Sunday mornings is casual. If this is your first time here, this is not the kind of fare that we get into during the radio show during the week. And like I've already said, for those of you just coming in, we do politics sometimes. I try not to do an overabundance of politics. Why? Because I don't like the polarizing nature of it. Mostly because I am not an objective political speaker. I have a certain point of view. I have somebody I support, and I have somebody I don't support. I have parties I support, parties I don't support. Ways of thinking, political ideology that I support, political ideology that I eschew, to use. It's my ex-wife once said, "Oh, you always use such big words. Use eschew. Ooh, look at you." And I'm like, it's a word. That's in part why we're divorced. That was the wife. We were divorced, by the way, 20 2 years ago now, 23. Hold on. Whew. Wow, there wasn't even time to hit a cough button or a sneeze button. Pardon me. So welcome to everybody who's here. Griff, it's good to have you here. Susie Q, Randall Flagg, good to have you here this morning. Pearl Jones, Delaney Pearl Jones. I like your whole name. I don't know if you're just going by Pearl Jones anymore. I love Delaney Pearl Jones. Such a great name for somebody who is like Pearl Jones. You all know her and love her. She said, I made Moonwater, cleared my black mirror and my runes, and my new spirit rods. And then I was asking what Moonwater was. In the full moon, write up your intentions, tape it to the jar of water, put it outside under the full moon, and it's a Capricorn buck moon, super powerful. Have we just passed the full moon, or is that yet to come? If you just did it, hey Siri, when is the next full moon?
Here's what I found.
Full moon calendar 2024. Oh, okay. It's just giving me a calendar. Let's see what it says. Here are when is the next full moon? Sunday. That's tonight. Oh, it was this morning at 6:17 a.m. Eastern date time. So just about 2 hours ago. That's too bad. I wish I had looked at that ahead of time. I might have put my cards out and charged them up. If you're into that spiritual kind of thing, even not spiritual, you're into the metaphysics of all of that, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But it's now, doesn't it? Once it's full, you have to catch it at its very peak. So I heard you start laying out, like when I did the cards, laid them out in the light of the full moon, but it would wax the fullest at 6:17 a.m. this morning. But then it already starts to wane. It's the dropping moon after that. So ever so slightly, but because by tomorrow it'll be a sliver less full moon. It doesn't go to full moon and then, we're going to freeze here on full moon for a while. It just keeps going. And so we're already in the waning moon. No, LOL, it's today. You're fine. Am I fine, Susie? I could do it tonight even. Isn't this already technically a waning moon once you go past the actual moment of the full moon, 6:17? Is it in a waning mood? And are you drawing waning energy? Somebody tell me where my thinking might be mixed up on that. That's what I learned a long time ago. The first time I think I charged my tarot cards in the moonlight was before I knew Raini. It was, I think, in the year 2000 or 2001. I remember doing it on my front porch. Lived in an old Victorian house in downtown Minneapolis and inner city Minneapolis. And our porch faced east. And so I laid them all out on the railing of the porch and at the table there and had them. So this is the first time I ever did that. Randall Flagg, or Alaska, Hawaii. Still full in California. Oh, yeah. I could drive my cards, fly my cards out to Hawaii. There you go. 3 days. So you can do it for 3 days? See, that's a part of that I did not know. Because I thought, here was the logic I had heard. Once it hits its fullest point, which was 6:17 this morning, Eastern. Once it hits that point, it starts to wane. And then you're pulling on waning energy as opposed to waxing energy. Pearl Jones says, Scotty, you have 3 days for the effect of the full moon to do what thou wilt with thy tools. All right, maybe I'll do that tonight. Hopefully we have some moonlight tonight and it's not raining or cloudy. Get the full light of the full moon. And you know what? Some people look at that and they'll go, that's kind of hokey that you're doing that. Are y'all a bunch of country heathens? And no, I just believe that in the power of the universe. Not like the universe is a guy, like, hey, Mr. Universe, charge my cards. Oh, how are you doing there, Scotty? What would the universe's voice sound like if it had a voice? But I believe that there is cosmic energy. I believe that there is natural energy. I believe some of the things that we qualify or quantify as magic is really just natural energy. And so the natural energy of the moon, what does that do? Is there a spiritual quality to that? Or is it all just a physical, it's not geological. What would it be? A physical quality of the universe? Or is there a spiritual dimension that benefits from that? That's an interesting question. And tonight I should take my starship out tonight, huh? In the full moon. So, and Spock. This is my Spock mug that we made up in Raini's. That's art I did of Spock. Right there. You've seen that artwork before. I've got them on tumblers. That's illustration, digital illustration, not AI, by the way. And then we got the Enterprise on the back side of that. And so that mug is for sale, but it's technically not up anywhere yet. So if you wanted one, we could get you one of these. And you can see all the stuff that we've got related to this show and other things we've done by going to my Etsy page, which is in this scroll bar, which I don't have scrolling. It's down there somewhere. Got my Patreon page on there. There it is, etsy.com/shop/son of a patriot. That's our, I don't like that scrolling when I've got the header down at the bottom or the footer at the bottom. So, because it clumps together, I gotta rearrange it and rework that. So, there's that. So there's all kinds of cups and mugs and shirts and hoodies, and it's hoodie weather's coming, by the way. I had to remind my kids yesterday we were at Walmart picking up a couple of things for Raini for camp. Everywhere is the back to school sales are starting and the back to school posters. And I'm like, hey guys, look, you're 2/3 through your summer. It's the most wonderful time of the year. It's back to school time. So kids sitting around and not doing their chores when they're supposed to and everything else. Pearl Jones says, I'm in search of a USS Enterprise water bong. I would be surprised if you could not find one. Let's see. USS Enterprise water bong water. Yeah, I'm gonna pull this leg and it plays Jingle Bells. Here we go. I found a few. Here you go. Hold on. Look at your screen, Delaney. I'm gonna share my screen, and I'll show you. Let's see. Let's go entire screen, and boom, and share. All right, that's what that does when I share my screen until I move. Boom. Here's my Google search. Let's see what they got. Let's just look at images and see what they've got. Oh, not very good looking enterprises. How about this one? Let's see. That's interesting. Look at that one. That's kind of cool. That's shaped a little bit like the one I utilized last night. Don't be afraid. My brother-in-law came over, who is to say it delicately, a pot connoisseur, and has been his whole life. And he grows the stuff and all of that. It's legally in Minnesota. He grows it. And he came over and had a little pipe. And I didn't really want to smoke much last night. I felt the peer pressure because I know what it does to me. I just end up feeling goofy and can't communicate as well. And he offered me a second hit, and I go, no, I'm good after the first one because if I take two, I won't be able to communicate. And there were even some things I was saying last night where I could not retain the gist of what I was trying to say. And he'd look at me and with that look of, I have no idea where you're going with that, Scotty. So, but there you go. That's a good looking one, I think, for it doesn't have to be detailed, and look like that. It doesn't have to look like that enterprise. It's got to be. I opened a new window by clicking on that. It's got to be something that I think has the typical pipe look. I think this kind of fills that niche. What do you think, Delaney? Open image, new tab. Let's see how big it is. It might be a tiny image. There you go. What do you think of that? And I can drag that over to my Photoshop right there. And here's what I have to do to prepare any picture to go. I bring it up to size. It's 300 DPI. It might be a little fuzzy. It's not bad. Not bad. So sometimes I have to sharpen the picture just a little bit. And I can only bring in images that are PDFs. So I have to resave this. Save as a PDF. That's how I have to do every single image that I put up. So Photoshop PDF, Starship Pipe, boom, save. I got to make sure it's flattened now. Not that it matters much. Yeah, it's good. So then we get out of that. And I don't even know what all I have. Oh, there's Friday night's graphic for our show. What do we got here? That's for a different thing I got going on. And then that's for a tattoo. So I'm going to do that as a tattoo. And not on me, on somebody else. So let's get out of this. Let's get back to the show over here. Bang, right there. And let's stop our screen. And I will present that graphic off to the side. So we'll go to my computer and we'll upload a file. And it will be in the desktop. And it'll be the Starship PDF. Starship Pipe PDF. I kind of like that pipe. And which song? The one I murmured here. There it is. We'll keep that up there for a couple of minutes. Which song, Randall Flagg? I sometimes lapse off into La La Land with stuff, and I don't even know what I just sang. So, you know what I've got going in my head this morning? Whatever that song is it Stardust Memories or something? It's a really old song. Da 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 na 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 da 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 da. So what song is that? I heard that on Sarah Soderlin, now Sarah Harmon, as she is fully divorced, and I heard that in the background on one of her videos this morning. She said she was at the hairstylist or the barber, and there was a dance studio next door, and you could hear the music playing. What is that song? Anybody know what that is? Did you recognize it by my tonguing it? Blah 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 blah. So, it's the most wonderful time of the year. You've heard that twice today already. There was an old ad, I think it was for Target, that had to have come out 10 to 15 years ago, and it shows the parents. It's summertime, and they're out skipping out of the house and through the driveway. It's the most wonderful time of the dad's happy and mom's happy, and you see the kids coming out, grade school age kids, and they're all frowning and walking to the car. They get in the car. Dad opens the door. They get in the car, and the most wonderful time. Then they're at the store at Target buying school supplies. So it's the most wonderful time of the year. La vie en rose, says Griff. Thank you very much. La vie en rose. So what does that mean? It says Long live the rose. Something about the rose. Vi. What is that? I don't know my French as I should. That's cool. Thanks, Griff. And so, where do you put your mouth on that Enterprise? Excuse me, Randall, but I believe that's a very personal question. Where do you put your mouth on that one? I think you'd light it through the top. So my guess is it's probably on the ass end of the main fuselage down. Oh, you can't see my mouse. Down in the middle on the lower portion. That was all my wife, said Griff. Oh, she knew the song? Good, cool. Would it be the thruster? There is no thruster, Susie. Excuse me, on the Enterprise. Let's see, you got your main body of the fuselage, which comes off of the dome section. And then you've got your two nacelles off to either side. I'm a Star Trek purist, so you'll have to forgive my haughtiness. Let's see. Right nacelle. Says Barry Chad. What, do you got one of these, brother? Oh, I know right where that is. It's the right-hand nacelle. Right hand from the front or the back? I would think from the back. So it would be on this side. You hold the dome and you puff off of the nacelle. So interesting. Put your eyes out with that thing. Yeah, right. If you're going, yeah, Randall, if you're going for the main fuselage on the bottom, those two nacelles are going to poke you right in the eyes. So it's got to be on a nacelle. And of course, if you've had a few pulls already, you're more apt to put out your eye and giggle about it. Look, I put out my eye. That's how I get when I smoke the devil's lettuce. I tend to get goofy. I think you hear me talk on the show, and like my daughter said the other day, Dad, you talk too much. I go, well, when I do radio, I'm not talking to anybody. I'm talking to myself. There's nobody. I'm conversing. So you try to not have empty moments, so you're always talking. And that's why I'm ADHD radio. I'm from topic to topic to topic to topic. But when I am smoking, which is rare, I don't do it very much. I'm a parent. I can't do that. I don't have opportunities to do that kind of stuff like I used to when I was a kid and a non-parent. So I tend to, my talkativeness does not stop. It just becomes goofy as hell. And I remember something about when I was working, doing some working with a roofing company, and we were out in Wyoming, and there was a bunch of guys smoking, and I was the oldest guy, of course, and I already had white hair and white whiskers. It was about 6 years ago when I was in 6 years ago, I think I was in Wyoming, and for a few months, and we all the guys were smoking. Okay, sure, I'll after a couple 3 pulls on that, I remember talking. Somebody asked me a question about something history. So you do history? Yeah, you could say that. And I was pontificating, but they're all every few moments somebody's kind of chuckling at me, and I didn't know if it was because they were stoned or because I was so stoned that I thought I was making sense and I wasn't. So I would start sitting with my brother-in-law last night. And Rainey was there too. Rainey doesn't smoke it anymore. She doesn't like to smoke it, but she wants to sit where people are smoking because she likes the secondhand smoke. She goes, keep smoking. So we're like, come on, Rainey, just have a pull. She used to do it a lot more too. And I think she's trying to be a responsible parent. There were kids around last night. They weren't sitting with us in the circle, but empty spaces, what are you living for? See, I don't even know what song that is. It sounds something John Denver-ish, but I'm sure it isn't. Empty spaces, what are we living for? See, that could be a John Denver song right there. How many of you even know who John Denver is anymore? I learned to play guitar listening to John Denver in the early 1970s. Yes, I'm that old. So I was trying last night to have a conversation with my brother-in-law. Wanted to tell a couple of stories that in my brain, anything you talk about with me, I have an anecdote to bring up or a joke or a something. And it's the same thing. I was stoned last night, but my brother-in-law would say something and I would, that reminds me of and I'd start telling the story the way I tell stories on here. And I rabbit trail a little bit, setting the stage and getting the visual in words. And then I forgot where I was. It happened to me at least 3 times last night. Oh, the show must go on. There you go. Randall Flagg says, Queen, the show must go on. My son this morning, my 14-year-old boy, said that, speaking of bands and groups, he wants to go to a Slipknot concert. I'm like, I'm familiar with Slipknot, but they've been around for a long time. I said, I just don't listen to them. It's not my kind of music. I was never, ever into hardcore metal or acid rock. I never did what they used to call that. I was just never into that kind of music. I liked music that spoke to me or lulled me, or, I like, as you know, Celtic music. I listen to bagpipe music. That's as raucously loud and annoying as it might get for some people. I like bagpipe music, but if it's done well, if it's orchestrated usually, and there's something, I've heard some really good stuff. I like, fiddle instead of violin, Celtic fiddle, mixed with bagpipe and mandolin and guitar and things like that. So I like the softer side of music. It's the way I've always been. The hardest I liked was John Denver music when I was in middle school and high school. That's how I learned to play guitar, like I said. Sing a lot of songs. And I wasn't the guy in Animal House who was playing on his guitar, and John Belushi said, may I see your guitar? Or whatever he said, and he smashes it to bits. I wasn't annoying that way. I was at least asked to play. Hey, will you play some songs? When we did Scotch and Cookies, I played guitar, and I had a friend bring his mandolin, and somebody else on a few occasions brought their violin and did fiddling with us. And so we did some music at those. So why don't you play in our band? I'm not that good. I play with the guitar. I'm not a guitarist. I play with the guitar. I accompany myself singing is what I do. Hey, Morgan Snow. Who else came in? Rapid Dog. The defining of a gentleman is a guy who knows how to play bagpipes but doesn't. There you go. We used to have a guy in a house that we had. This may be pre-Rainy. This might be my ex-wife and I. We had a house in the east side of St. Paul, and somebody would go out on the boulevard on the main drive. At the end of our street was the Johnson Parkway, and they go out on the boulevard. It was all full of grass and trees in the middle. Somebody would be out there practicing bagpipes. So, at least in my memory, doesn't mean my memory's not shot, but that's where I think that was. So, do you ever get that regarding memory? I look at Joe Biden and I go, oh my God, 20 years ago, he was doing just fine. You may not have agreed with everything he said, but he seemed middle of the road 20 years ago. He was conservative on some things, liberal on other things. I used to like who he was because I thought, he's a decent guy. It's before we knew anything about him. And then the allegations, just like on the other side with Trump, they're a dime a dozen. So I don't listen to allegations. Give me evidence, give me proof. But now I look at Joe Biden now and I go, wow, when he was my age 20 years ago, he's 20 years older than me. That's it. I'm only 20 years behind Joe Biden. And my mind is still pretty good. I have the things that worry me. I go, you've seen me do it on this show. What was the name of that thing, that guy, that song, that movie, that book title, that person? And I'm in the middle of talking away and I can't think. I go, somebody, who is the person that did, just like we did with the song a few minutes ago. And, but then I remember really trivial stuff. I remember a lot of historical stuff I've studied for years. I could talk about the whole uh, Tutmosian dynasty in the 18th dynasty of ancient Egypt. And because I wrote books about it. But that guy up there, And so if you've been on the show any length of time, you know who that is right there. And standing right next to him is Indiana Jones with his headgear on and his staff of Ra, with the headpiece of the staff of Ra, standing right there next to my bust of Senenmut, which was carved. John Ward had carved for me out of a stone he went and carried out of one of the quarries of Hatshepsut in Luxor, Egypt. And he brought it home because he lived in Luxor, and he had a local artisan carve that bust of Senenmut for me, as you all know that story. So then he carried it on the plane in a satchel on his back. Thing weighs about, I don't even know, it's heavy, 20 pounds at least. And it's like carrying 2 or 3 gallons of milk at the same time, is about the weight of it. When I say a gallon of milk is about 9 pounds, so it's 18, yeah, between 20 and 30 pounds. So Morgan Snow does that too. Yeah, I'm starting to slip. Now, is it because my mind, that's where I started off with that. Am I going to be like Joe Biden in 20 years? Because he was the way I am now 20 years ago. He was sharp. Where am I going to be in 20 years? Because then I already see those little signs of, why am I forgetting names? Why the hell am I forgetting names? And I don't forget things like I don't put my keys in the refrigerator or anything like that. And I typically know where my stuff is because I like to, I've got systems of the way I do things. You might call this OCD, but I got my keys. My keys go here. They go on that ring or that hook, or they sit on we got a high shelf right next to the door, and I put them on top of the shelf. So I always know where they are. My wallet, always in the zipper pocket. I got like 5, 6 different pairs of pants that I wear that are all the same style. Call me boring. With their cargo, kind of slight cargo pants. And they've got zipper pockets. And there's not the cargo pants with the big bulging cargo pockets on everything. And they're sleek pants, and I wear them with just about everything. I've got different colors and some the same color. And just so because I like those pants. They worked for me. And I bought 6 pairs of them. So, but my wallet, I don't lose my wallet. Why? Because it's either in the zipper pocket or it's on top of the dresser when I put on a different pair of pants. So things like that. I like to know where my stuff is. So I'm not forgetful in that sense. I know where my things are basically. Now I've lost a few things over the years, but it's not because of memory. I distinctly remember when we moved into this house, which is almost 2 years ago, I've got my musket sitting back there, my Pedersoli musket. And I've told you this story before. I took the lock mechanism out for the musket, the click, chick, boom. I took that out to clean it and to show my dad on camera how to take his lock apart. And I didn't put it back together right away. So I put all the pieces in a Ziploc because I think it was because I wasn't done putting together the thing to show him on film how to do that, or on video. And so I put that in there, and there it sat, and I never finished it. It went in a white, kind of this color, the color, the white unfinished wood box that was about this big, like this, and about that deep. And it opened up and it had a little half moon latch. You've seen those. I had a few things in there, and I put that bag with the lock mechanism in there, shut it, latched it. And when we were moving, I took that box and I slid it into a bigger box. It was either a tub or a box that had desk stuff on it. Some of that stuff you see back there, some of that stuff over there on that shelf, all of that junk. It was in one of those boxes. Stuff like that, because that box, somewhere along the way, has disappeared. And so I haven't had a lock mechanism to put back in my musket for over 2 years. And it's like, where the hell did that box go? We didn't throw out boxes full of stuff. It didn't get left because the old landlord called us that you left a door in the garage, or you left you got some junk in here, some cardboard. And it wasn't much. It was just an empty, clean garage with a couple of things. He called us about that. If I'd have left the box there, it would have been there. We would have brought it with us. So since we've been here, I have not been able to locate that box. So I've got missing things, but it's not because I was deficient memory-wise. So when does that all start? Hopefully it doesn't. What are the things you can do to keep your brain alive? Do you play brain games? Do you take this thing here, and you're gonna retain your brain power? Is that how that works? I don't know. So that's all I hope. I don't want to lose my mind, is what that's all about. I don't want to get to the point. It's frustrating enough when you can't think of a name. It's almost like a mental claustrophobia. I don't want to lose my mind. My mind's about the only cool thing I have that's my own. I've already lost my hair, most of it. So that's gone. Maybe the brain seeped out with some of that. What's in the box? Says Randall Flagg. Are you talking about that box? The wooden box? It was just like some odds and ends, some little keepsakes, in my musket lock mechanism in a Ziploc in that bag. Now, every now and then, I think I've run across, I find a Ziploc and there's metal things, and I look and I go, oh, no, that's door hinges or something, or knobs for refinishing furniture. So it went into hiding. I feel like I've been through everything we have and cannot find that. The only thing I can think is it's in a box that somebody else thought was for somebody else. I'd have to go I've thought of doing this into my son's room. He's got 2 closets in his room, and one is stacked full of boxes of his stuff. Maybe it's that box got in there. I don't know. But I pulled our garage apart, where we have a whole wall in our garage that is Tupperware tubs, the big ones, full of stuff, full of costumes and fabrics. Raini used to make costumes, did a lot of costume making. So she's got a ton of fabrics that she's had for 20 years. They're in those tubs, and they're all in great shape because they've been sealed up in tubs. But, and there's other stuff, stuff and junk, where you go, how come I have a whole box here? It's light. And you open it up, you got a whole tub dedicated to a frying pan and an old radio speaker, and maybe a couple of hangers. You go, why is there a box with this stuff in it? let's condense that down. So, especially movie actors, especially with movie actors. Oh, yeah, says Morgan Snow. Movie actors, yeah. But I've done that all my life, too. I was doing that in my 20s, but maybe now I'm just tuned into it. And I got to tell you, guys, maybe you can click into this. I love my wife. I'm not planning to go anywhere or do anything on the side or anything like that, that would be detrimental to our relationship. You know what I'm talking about. I don't have any designs for that. But it's nice, especially since I am now technically past middle age. I'm in early old manhood. It's always nice when hot woman, beautiful, gorgeous woman looks at you and gives you the eye. or tells you how good looking you are or whatever. It's always nice. My wife does that, and I even have to pull it out of her sometimes. I'm pretty handsome, aren't I? And she goes, oh, yeah. See, she agrees with me. And so just the 2 days ago, my friend Heather came by. Sorry, Heather, if you're listening, I'm telling stories on you. She came by. Heather's hot. She's about as hot as they come. And and she just came over, stopped by to say hi because she was in the neighborhood. And Rainey and I were sitting there, and we had both fallen asleep on the sofa. It was late afternoon, I think. And I fell asleep on the sofa. And yeah, was it left in the last parallel universe? I wonder about that, Griff. I really do. Sincerely. And so Heather comes walking in. One of the kids is running around behind her. Hey, look who's here. And we're like, oh, hey. And I had fallen sound asleep, kind of like this, sitting on the sofa. And I sat up and go, hey. And I had no mental wits about me yet. And she sat down on the footstool in front of me. And Rainey's on that sofa. And we're all talking. And something came up. And I said, sorry, we both just fell asleep. She goes, yeah, you were napping. She goes, Rainey is because she's tired. She works a lot. You because you're just old. And I went, it was kind of like a wah, 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 wah moment. When a hot chick looks at you and go, oh, you're just old. You're like, oh, I'm done. I guess you can bury me now. And I'm sure she was just teasing me. But even teasing like that, it comes about because I'm old now. I'm 63 years old. I am no longer, young, strapping child. So, stupid CERN, ain't that the truth? CERN ripped open a parallel universe. And on that point, Griff, there are things I am absolutely certain of in my memory that no longer are there. Meaning, I stated that wrong. It's like the Mandela effect, What's the Mandela effect? They named it after because Nelson Mandela, everybody thought he was dead. Then all of a sudden he's alive and getting out of prison. It's like, wasn't he dead? And half the world believed he'd been executed or had died in prison. Was that because of misinformation or no? It was in the news and everything. The Mandela effect. There it is, Randall. I get that all the time these days. It's like I'll look at something and go, that was not there before, or whatever it might be. And it's not just a memory lapse thing. It's like I can look at this and I'll go, this was a red box. There's red on it now, but this was a red box the whole time. I might even be going, hey, go get that red box of tarot cards. And I'm looking for it. Rainey's like, what are you looking for? The red box, the golden tarot. It's in a red box. And she'll hand me this. And she goes, no, it's a blue box. I go, it's never been in a blue box. I'm making that up. But it's things like that have been happening. And you notice them and you go, holy hell, Or you watch an old episode of something or an old movie and you go, well, I don't remember that happening. Is that string theory at play? The Mandela effect is very real, says Griff. Yeah, you are absolutely correct about that. And it's odd. What causes that? Is it collective Alzheimer's? That doesn't happen. It's collective something or other. It's collective memory that plays out differently than the collective. What are some examples of Mandela? Mandela effect. Let's see if we can get some good examples. Here you go. Here, I've got 40 examples of the Mandela effect. It's a phenomenon that makes us question even the most mundane memories from the past. In June of 2019, the famed New York Times crossword puzzle made it the theme and defined it as a recent refinement of false memory that typically refers to pop culture or current event references. And of course, number one is Nelson Mandela's death. Nelson Mandela, who this theory is named after, died in 2013. However, countless people distinctly remember him dying in prison in the 1980s, even me. But his death isn't the only example of a Mandela effect. We've been wrong about so many other dates. Jif, not Jiffy. Remember that peanut butter? People swear there was a Jiffy peanut butter back in the day, but we speculate they're combining Jif with its competitor Skippy. No, I remember Jiffy peanut butter. And Jif, we've got a jar of Jif upstairs. The nutty form, chunky Jif, chunky peanut butter. It's the way to go. And yeah, there you go. I had to sign in. This is on Esquire's site, Esquire magazine. Looney Tunes, not tunes. Looney Tunes, Toons. It makes almost zero sense, but the cartoon was spelled Tunes, Tunes. I agree. They changed it somewhere along the way. The Berenstein Bears was another big one. Kids' book. The lovable cartoon bear family actually spelled their last name with an A. So the Berenstein Bears. Now it's the Berenstain Bears. It's like, which was it? Was it a typo? Curious George's tail was never there. He never had a tail. You freaking out? Sex in the City. While these four women were having sex in the city, the show was actually titled Sex and the City. How about that? Febreze. Febreze used to have two E's. Now it's only got one. Or it's the other way around. Oscar Mayer. Oscar, Meyer, is now Mayer. What is it? Because Oscar Mayer has a way with Bologna. What was the whole jingle? Oscar. My baloney has a first name, it's Oscar. My baloney has a second name, it's Mayer. So Mayer. So one of the most confounding of all, there's an A in Mayer. Question mark? I thought it was Meyer. Meyer. Which one was it, folks? And this list goes on and on. There's 40 of them in here. So the Monopoly Man and his monocle is one. Kit Kat with a dash between kit and cat versus. Now, those things can be changed. That can just be a marketing thing. Me being a designer and a graphic designer and an artist and all that, I run into this all the time. Hey, we want to take the hyphenation out between the two words. Okay, yeah, we can do that. My baloney has a first name, says Susie. It's Oscar. And now finish that. My baloney has a second name. It's Mameyer. I think we always sang A, Mayer. But I don't remember. So the Mandela effect. And there's other stranger things. There's things that happen. It was like deja vu that ties into our Mandela effects. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Hey, you can call in, you know. Hey, JP. Just saw you. Here is the link. If you do not see it in the description, you can call into this show. It's Sunday. And there's the link. It's pasting. Boom, boom, boom. Griff says, but then they gaslight people into believing that it was never that way. But is that their string theory memory of it? Oh, it's never been that way. I'm from Oscar Mayer. I'm the CEO. It's never been Meyer. You know, they'll tell you, are they gaslighting us or is that the way they always remembered it? Why do we remember it differently as a collective? And there's more collective things than just those trite little advertising campaign, pop cultural things. There's political events. I can't think of which ones off the top of my head. I think Nelson Mandela was probably the big one because it's the one that kicked it off. Let's see. Mona Lisa's smile. A lot of theories about this one, but so many people have claimed that she used to have a more obvious smile. I don't know about that one. 3CPO having a silver leg. I don't remember him ever having a silver leg. He had a red arm or something like that in one of the early prequels. Life is like a box of chocolate is not what Forrest Gump actually said. If you listen closely, it says life was like a box of chocolates. Was. We're regretting all of those Instagram captions right now. So, which one was it? Life is like a box of chocolates, or was life was like a box of chocolates? We don't know for sure. A mirror, mirror on the wall in the original Snow White animated film. It wasn't a line in Snow White either. The Wicked Queen says magic mirror on the wall. Luke, I am your father. I don't have a bassy voice, so I can't do it. Now, this is the one that cut deep. The most famous movie line in history wasn't even said. All he said was, I am your father. Now, that's how I remember it. He never said, Luke, I am your father. He just said, I am your father. It's like, no. Run, you fools. Gandalf's line in Lord of the Rings. This memorable line was never said by Gandalf. Before his treacherous fall, you can clearly hear him say, fly, you fools. I hear run. I heard run, never heard fly. Let's see. Let's move on. Hello, Clarice. You know what that's from? Remember that one? I just quoted a line from that last night to my brother-in-law while I was stoned. He was talking about something was said. It was either about the children bleeding or something like that. And I said, do you hear the lambs, Clarice? So Hannibal Lecter said, hello, Clarice, or the reality, all that he said was good morning. Say what? No, I don't remember. See, those things that's all such pop cultural stuff. Sinbad never played a genie, the late comedian. Now that's the stuff that gets me all the time. The late comedian. Now watch, I'll see him live on something this afternoon because I said that. I think he's dead, and he died over 10 years ago. But that's the kind of thing the Mandela effect does to us. Well, he died. No, he's got a live special on CBS tonight. Smokey Bear, not Smokey the Bear. How about Tank Man? Most memorable moment in 1989 in Tiananmen Square. The recollections of the event vary. Some say the unidentified man known as Tank Man was run over and killed, but other videos show him moving away from the scene. I never saw him run over. He died later. Neil Armstrong's death, Billy Graham's death, Mother Teresa's canonization, the Space Shuttle Challenger explosion. I actually saw that happening live on television in 1984 or 5. Oh, and that's the thing. It happened on January 26, 1986. I thought it was 84 or 5. I even see where I was officing my little studio because I did a lot of work for a company called Games by James. They did board games and stuff in the 80s. And so he let me office there in exchange for I could do whatever I want. I had my office within their offices. I just had to be available to do their work first. And so I was officing there, and we had the TV on in the main lobby, and we're all standing there watching it happen. But that only happened at a certain period in my life when that took place. I even remember what I was wearing that day when the Challenger blew up. Because I remember it. I was wearing jeans, and I was wearing a kind of white, off-white pullover shirt, like a polo shirt with 3 buttons here, but it was a long sleeve, and I had the sleeves pushed up like I always do. And it was an off-white shirt, kind of a coarser, what do they call that? Kind of a summer weight kind of coarse fabric. Not coarse to the touch, loose weave to it. So I remember when that happened. The Lindbergh baby thing, Patrick Swayze's health. Some people remember him recovering. I don't. I remember him dying. Leonardo DiCaprio's first Oscar was in 2016. But countless people argue he scored one much earlier. Maybe that's just confused memory. Location of the Disney World castle. There's all kinds of these things. So there, I belabored that point and kicked that dead horse. So we'll get back out of that. So Mandela effect, yeah. Fly, you fools, says Griff. And now I got to watch it again. And I got to see the quote. Run. I could have sworn he said, run, you fools. Why would I remember that differently? If he said fly, I would have said, fly, you fools. He has a silver leg in Star Wars, says Morgan Snow. C-3PO. Silence of the Lambs. Not when I was a kid. Wait, he died? Stop. No way. Who are you talking about? Griff, which person? Who died? Yeah. JP is here. JP, are you coming on or are you just going to be a circle? Let's find out. Let's bring him in.
Going to be a circle for right now.
You're going to be a circle.
Yeah.
Oh, do you not have your face on this morning?
Basically. Now I'm getting ready to get back on the road to head back to North Dakota.
Nice.
The mini-me and I drove out to see the elder spawn in Grand Junction.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sinbad, yeah.
Yes, Sinbad is very much alive.
I remember that.
Sinbad is 67 years old.
Today?
Not today, but he is alive and he is 67.
He died.
He did not.
There was a big thing. I saw it when he died. I saw it in the news, and I'm like, Sinbad died?
No.
Well, that's too bad. I kind of liked him. What the ever-loving fuck?
And I don't care what anybody says. Sinbad played a genie in the movie Shazam.
Yeah. Sinbad is healthy, well, alive, and enjoying life. For the record, it says here. What the ever living? See right here. Oh yeah, it says 1956, age 67 years old today. He was born in 56.
Yep.
4 years before me. He's alive. See, that's the whole thing. Does anybody remember the reports of him being dead?
Nope.
And then I didn't see him in anything for years.
His career may have been dead.
Maybe. I sincerely remember Sinbad dying.
Nope.
And not just my quirky, oh, geez, I think Sinbad is dead. It wasn't that. It was that I saw it in the... I wouldn't even thought twice about saying, oh, let me go look up Sinbad's death. No, it was just sitting there one day and it was on the news. Sinbad has died. And I heard it more than once. It's like, what the hell? Was it a staged death? Is Michael Jackson alive? Did you see Elvis Presley still alive? Elvis Presley be old. Or John F. Kennedy, that he's actually alive? God, what would the guy be, 100 years old?
So Elvis Presley is actually living in an old folks home.
Yeah.
Out in the sticks.
Bubba Hotep.
Yeah, and JFK has actually had his consciousness switched into the body of an elderly African American male.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
Yeah. So they have been fighting apparently ancient Egyptian spirits.
Yes.
So yes.
Folks, if you have not seen the ever loving Bruce Campbell
Bubba Hotep.
Played Army of Darkness, Bruce Campbell. All right, you primitive screwheads. This is
It's
my boomstick.
boomstick.
He played the aged Elvis Presley in Bubba Hotep. I'll have to
So
go
who's
find
this
that.
Bubba Hotep, whoever it is?
What a great movie.
Oh, a great horrible movie.
A great horrible movie. Yeah, it's a horrible movie, but it reached cult status.
Oh, absolutely.
So,
It was good enough to do that.
hey, what are
That's
some
a weird one.
What are some other really fucked up bad movies that achieved cult status?
Oh. I mean, if you want to talk about technical production kind of thing,
yeah,
maybe you could say Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yeah,
But,
that just popped into my mind.
yeah, I wouldn't say that it's horrible though. I mean, the guy who wrote it was
Yeah.
oh
My wife's got to go. She's coming to say goodbye.
no.
Going to camp.
Going to camp. See you
I love
later.
you. Come here.
Bye.
Come here. Arg, arg, arg,
Okay.
arg.
See you later.
I love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.
Have fun.
Oh yeah. Bless. Gonna have bless.
You betcha.
You'll betcha. She's going to be gone for a week at camp with children, being a scout leader. I could think of nothing more fun I'd want to do right now. And then they come home for a day and they leave for Alaska, she and my daughter, for
yeah, that's
3 weeks, 2 weeks or 3 weeks. So
that would be fun.
see if my daughter makes it down to say goodbye.
I would certainly hope so.
I think she might. We'll say, I hear children footsteps coming down the steps. They all have a cadence. Go, oh, that's Rainy. Yeah, this is the child that's not going to camp. I thought that was you coming down because you had a farump down the stairs. Rowan goes, fa-dum, 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 fa-dum. You go, farump. Or you go, too fast.
Will you tell Flynn he can't play video games on the
Hey, Flynn, you can't play video games on the TV in the living room. There, pass that on. Tell Rowan she has to come and say goodbye.
There's whole slews of witnesses to him saying that, by the way. So
And to him saying, oh yes. So Rainy, in and out this morning. This is, after all, it's Sunday with Scotty and Rainy. So it was nice that she made an entrance. She said, I may come down and say goodbye, but I'm not going to come on camera. I go, what? What? You're not going to get ready? That was like an hour and a half ago. Just come down when you're ready. You don't have to come down. Come down and say hi. Because they have to leave now. Because they're going to be at the pickup point, the local church here in town.
yeah,
The Lutheran churches, they all gather over there and drive into camp together. A 2-hour drive.
whee.
I could have driven her there and back. We've got one vehicle down. Minivan down. And we put in a here. This is just ADHD. I'm off on this one now. We put in. Well, I say we. I was going to do the work. I went and I bought the part. Our ignition stopped working. The key locked up in the ignition. You couldn't turn the ignition on. So we looked up everything. We found out, hey, we could take it in for $800 and get it fixed, or we can buy the part for $100 and go by the YouTube videos and via the YouTube videos and change it. Which we've done a lot of our own car work using YouTube. There's one time I was in. Where was I? I was down in Louisiana. I was down in Louisiana doing roofing with a friend's company, and we left at the end of January, and that was in 2018, and it was bitter, snowy cold up here. It turned 30 below zero. You know what it's like up here in these states. And both the cars we had stopped working because of the cold. So what did Rainy do? Rainy got the videos. She got the parts she needed. because the cold snap, and she did all the work herself and restored both the cars. So
There you go.
yeah. So anyway,
It can all be done by just about
so
anybody.
we put the new ignition switch in. It's a 2004, so count that 20-year-old Honda Odyssey minivan, which my father-in-law, who is a mechanic, he's like, that thing will last to 400,000 miles. I've heard. He says if you treat them well.
Oh,
And it's
yeah.
only got like 200,000 on it, something like that, a little over 200,000. He said, "Oh, that thing's got easy another 100,000 on it." And but the switch, stopped working. So we got the part, and I'm looking up the videos, and I'm like, "Oh, it's got an anti-theft system." So you gotta do the what do they call it? The OME or the
OEM. Or
ODM.
ODB2.
What?
The ODB2 port.
That's it. And it resets the code in the car for the key.
Yep.
And of course, we don't have the right device. We've got a device that you plug into the car, but it has to be wireless. It's like, you're kidding me. Okay. Well, we look in the wireless ones. The cheapest one you can get is $250. It's like, well, we're not saving anything. We just put $100 into the part. Okay, $250. Then we're at $350. So we were
but if you ever need to do it again, you have the appropriate part or appropriate tools.
Yes. So anyway, I have to amend something here. I was going to do that work, and I came up yesterday after being down in the studio doing some work, and I find that Raini's friend Jamie is over, and those two women were mocking me because they're the ones that took apart the whole thing and put the new ignition system in. We got it all put in. We don't need men. I go, yeah. I said, you only need us for sex. I said, we're so oppressed. And Rainey said, oh, that's it. She said, and so I got the grief given to me. The two women went and replaced the. I said, I don't care. I said, go cook breakfast now too.
Oh,
And
God.
that didn't go over well, but
I'm sure it didn't.
So I said, it's about time. And so what did Rainey say? And it brought up, we had this old little bit we used to do. It was something. She says something to me. Oh, she says, don't you tell me. If I tell her, hey, go do that thing or pick up the, don't you tell me. I said, you do it, or I tell you with the back of my hand.
Oh, God.
And we had this little exchange that I was on. That came up yesterday too. So it's fun. It was all done in fun. So nobody ever hits anybody around here. So all my kids do.
And then they get in trouble.
Dad, she hit me. She kicked me in the face first. No, I didn't. Yes, you did. And it's like, I don't care anymore.
Right.
That's what it's gotten to. They come out with disputes. We're out there outside working on the car all day. Then Rainey's brother came because there was something. We had to go buy a new battery. We thought it was the battery because you turn on the key and it turned the engine over, but it went tick, 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 with the battery. But
Right.
the battery's shot. And so we went and paid $150 for a battery. And then and it did the same thing to that. And then we find out it's, that's the anti-theft system kicking in.
Yeah.
It's not going to turn. So I took the battery back, of course. Said, we don't need this. Is there anything wrong with it? No. So we just don't need it.
Always get the battery load tested. You can put a.
Should have done.
Yeah, you could put you could put a multimeter or anything like that, or a tester across the terminals, and it'll still read 12 volts, but it won't carry the proper amperage to do the work.
Other daughter. Hey, now, by the way, before she comes on camera, don't look too closely. Just kind of catch it from the corner of your eye. She is growing up to the point where there's sometimes I walk by and I think she's Rainy. Believe it or not. Okay, Ro. Here's Rowan. And so you're going.
Yeah.
Rowan is going. Look at that. I'm such a poet.
Did you take like 2 10s off the table upstairs?
No, I don't take any money that doesn't belong to me.
My money's gone. But
I'm so
it was
sorry.
upstairs on the table.
She doesn't whine as much as Rainy. She whines more than Rainy, but she looks like Rainy out of the corner of my eye.
There were 2 10s.
I'm sorry.
2 $10 bills.
There's your main culprit. Suspect. Kids. Thieves, all of them.
You didn't take money from the
No.
stack-up table on the
No, I have no cash. So, there's my family for you in a nutshell. When are you leaving?
I don't have time.
Are you going to say goodbye?
Yeah.
Because I ain't going to see you in a week. I don't have your money. Maybe Mom picked it up.
Mom didn't pick up my money. She told me to come down here and ask you because Flynn didn't pick it up.
Okay. Well, I will see you in a week. And when do you leave? How many days before you go to Alaska after you get back?
2.
2 days.
No,
Okay.
3. There's 2 days.
3. Don't
No,
do
Mom
that to my
said
stapler.
3. There is 2
Jam the
days.
staples up in it
3. Mom said
all day
Mom
long.
said 3.
All
I'm going
day
over. There's 2
long.
days. Mom
The
said
12-year-old
3.
and the 9-year-old. Get out of here. Get out of here. Don't you do that in here. See ya. Vamoose.
That trip to Alaska
Stare at
ought to
each
be
other.
fun for them.
What's that?
That trip to Alaska ought to be fun for them.
Oh, it'll be nice. It's only the older daughter, the 12-year-old, and Rainy. Rainy's sister lives up there, and her family, and they go fishing for salmon on the river up there every year.
Nice.
We had the 83 pounds of fresh salmon that got packed on ice and shipped back on the plane with Rainy the first trip she went up there.
Yeah.
And so we had 83 pounds minus maybe 6 to 8 pounds that we had pulled over a few months to cook. Uncle Dave was here and he took salmon and he made 3. Uncle Dave is a gourmet chef and he made 3 different versions of salmon. He prepared them 3 different ways and we had a big party eating salmon. But then somebody unplugged the freezer in the garage. And we opened that up one day and everything was melted and rotten. Been a week since we dug anything out of the deep freeze. All melted, rotten. We had to throw out over 75 pounds of salmon.
I don't even want to think about what that smelled like.
Oh, it smelled very fishy. They were wrapped, though. They were wrapped well because they were packaged. Rainy would catch the fish, and then they bring them to the little processing plant that would wrap them, put them on ice right away.
Right.
And so I don't think it smelled too awful, but you could tell everything was bloody or juicy.
Yeah.
So it was just a heartache throwing out over 70 pounds of salmon.
Oh, absolutely.
And so the last year they went back and she shipped. They didn't do as much fishing, but she shipped. We got a bunch of salmon still in the freezer now. But they're going to go up. They're going to go fish in the river, and hopefully come home with a lot of salmon.
Yeah, I had a guy I worked with when I was instructing at Fort Leonard Wood. Every year he went to Alaska and would always bring back salmon and oh goodness gracious, something else I can't think of. But it was always kind of a big affair. Ron coming back with
Sure.
all the salmon. Not just
Scott
some.
Allen, I wish you lived closer. I'd have you come over. We'd have steaks on the grill and beer or a good tawny port and run your little Bluetooth version. That's what we need, a Bluetooth version of that device to calibrate the keys. So until that, the only other options, we got to tow it in the Honda dealership, which is, we live out in the country, so we'd have to tow it in 40 minutes into the city, and that drive 35 miles, something like that. So I'm going to make some calls tomorrow morning and see if somebody's got a device and see if we can get that done locally. So somebody was saying, "Oh, you can only have a Honda dealership do that."
Yeah, you can get the tool.
All the videos I see, we watched all the videos. The guys had their own little wireless device, and they reset the keys.
Yup.
So
Exactly.
But now Rainey is riding with another scout friend, as opposed to, I said, I can drive you up tomorrow. Well, in the meantime, she lined it up with somebody else who's in the scouts, and so they're riding with somebody. So she's leaving the both cars are being left here. So I will have a car to drive before I fix the other one. So
Yes. Gotcha.
and if I get a windfall between now and then, I'll just go buy one. By the way, folks, you can hit the super chat and donate money, or you can look on the main page on my YouTube, and there's a place to donate money. But I don't get that right away. So if you need my PayPal, it's just Scotty at ScottAllenRoberts.com. If you want to buy me a scanner, because I'm poor and all of my money goes to feed all my children. So there you go.
There are some pretty reasonably priced ones out there that you can find.
Rainey said she looked online, and the best she could find was $250.
Yeah.
So the Blue Driver Bluetooth, I should look that one up. So what are those technically called?
What? Where it plugs into it?
No,
So
the Bluetooth version. It's a OM. I'm getting the initials.
OBD2.
OBD2 Bluetooth scanner. It's not just the scanner, it resets the thing. Well, look, here's one right here. Bluetooth Blue Driver. Is that the one you've got? $99. That's not bad. Free delivery by Tuesday on my Amazon Prime. There is Nexus Nextlink OBD2 scanner, Bluetooth wireless, $35 on my Prime. Where did she get the $250 one?
Just
I don't even see one. As
get in there and do it.
The Blue Driver. Let me ask you, Scott Allen, because you put that in the chat room. Can you reset keys for like, here's a big looking one. Here, look at this, everybody. I don't know what Rainey was looking at. Am I looking at the wrong thing? Have I got the wrong thing?
Well, you may not be able to reset it or resync it through something, maybe.
So yeah, I've got to be able to reset it. Here you go. It's like right here. Look at these. Here's the Blue Driver, $99. And what do you call it? We had a local guy, Dave. He's with the Scouts. He was the big Scout master and all of that. He's tool and die guy. A massive shop in his garage and outbuildings, local here. And he's with the Scouts. And Rainey said, "Hey, I need somebody out there who's got one of these. And otherwise, I'm not going to be able to drive to Scouts tomorrow." And Dave hopped right on it, and he came over here, and he put his thing on, but it was a plug-in. And so it's got to be wireless for some reason. Can't be plugged into the system. And so Rainey looked him up, and she said, $250. Okay, that's a child coming down. That's too fast for Rainey. So, Rainey? Is mom gone? Is mom gone? Oh, they're gone. Okay. I was going to just ask her. So I'm seeing everything that's a Bluetooth. What's the criteria I put in? OBD2 Bluetooth scanner. I see a whole, look at that. You can see the whole page. Not a single one of them over
the only other thing that
one over $100.
The only thing I could think of is that the key has a transmitter in it.
Let me see. There's something on the. Let me look here on the Somerset page because I posted it to our small town group, and it's not that one. Community page, and does anybody know? Blah blah blah. I'm looking for my post because I typed exactly what it was in there that I needed. As Dave was telling me, no, you got to say it's a this and this and a that and a that. So hold on, if you haven't, blah blah blah. Has anyone seen my cat? You need a new sidewalk. Rather urgent, I put. It is a OBD2 scanner immobilizer. That makes sense?
Okay.
Let's see. Let me copy that. Not that this is great radio or anything, folks, but you can contribute your thoughts if you'd like. So if I took this and pasted that in there, how's it going to let me? There it is. No. Why have I got a StreamYard address? It did not copy. That's why. Did not copy. Right there. Copy.
Look at what Ron did yesterday when she jammed in my face.
Oh, hold on a second, baby. That was from an argument and a fight that you were both engaged in.
Well, you just have
So I
to-
generally don't have a lot of interest in that. Hold on. Let me look.
It's bruised and it's really small.
This one?
Yeah. See?
You jammed your finger a little bit? I don't notice anything. Well, here. Here's what comes up. Look at those prices. I don't, sweetheart.
Mom saw.
Well,
Mom saw the difference. She's a
tell you what.
mom.
I need to back on out of here for now because
All right.
I have
need
to
to get off
carry
of this.
everything
This
down
is
to the
boring
car.
and mundane for everybody.
So, but I'll see about flipping in.
All right.
later
Let me
if I can.
let me
Still
cut
on.
this stop screen sharing. There you go. And hide the current comment that's up there.
So,
There you go.
there I
he
am.
is. There you is. There you is.
Here I am.
So
Anyways, always a pleasure to hop on.
always
And
a pleasure.
it's Mayor, not Mayor as in like
M-A-Y-E-R.
MEYR, not Mayor as
Well, that's what I
in
thought.
MA.
My
It's
baloney has a first name, it's OSCAR. My baloney has a second name, it's MAYER.
Yeah, it's
Are we saying A or E in that?
yeah. Meyer.
Meyer. It's
Meyer.
Oscar Meyer. It's Oscar Meyer has a way with BOLOGNA.
Yep. So, anyways,
And who the
everybody's
hell
happy.
put a G in baloney?
Uh,
All right. See
Isn't
you
that like
later.
the
Have a good
Italians
trip.
or something? So,
Something like that. Bologna.
Bologna. Yeah,
Bologna. The G is silent.
of course.
All right.
Silent. Take her easy, guys.
Hey,
Have a
brother,
happy Sunday.
travel safe. There goes Jason. I don't know about keys, but I reset an error code that periodically pops up. It turns the check engine light off. Yeah, I'll have to find out. Maybe you have to type that in as criteria, or I have to look at the criteria, to reset keys. Because that looks like devices that fit the criteria of what's needed. It's got to be wireless. There's Bluetooth, OBD2 scanner, enhanced wireless car code reader, auto scan tools, scanner with battery. But you see, if it's a scanner, will it allow it to reset the codes? That's the question. It's got to connect with something wirelessly other than just your car. So you got to be able to have your phone there. Well, some of these are shown with phones that you can do your thing. $26. I don't know what Rainey was looking at, unless it is a different tool altogether. If anybody listening out there is in the know on this stuff, please let me know. And we'll see what we can find. Because then I could do it myself. Oh, there's our Starship thing. I got to go back to the radio page. Bada boom. And stop sharing my... Was I sharing my camera? I guess I wasn't. So there you go. I'm back. So what else we got? We got a half an hour left, technically. A half an hour of this show left. If everybody wants to stick around for a half an hour and talk about all kinds of other junk. What do we got? You know, I pulled this old book off my shelf today because I was looking at the books that over here, that bookshelf in the corner, and I saw it in the camera when I first set it up. And there was that orange book in the middle of the top shelf right there was sitting over here, and it was standing out like a sore thumb. And so I moved it just for the visual on the camera. And this was the book that was next to it. Outlines. I picked this up at the thrift store. Outlines of Cosmic Philosophy 2. Is that 2 or 11? I think it's 2. And I was curious as to what it was about. And the date on this, I do not have my glasses here, which since I had to have my old man cataract surgery a few months ago, it's corrected my distance vision to almost perfect. But I still need readers. But now I can't squint and see anything because of the new lenses that are in there. So I'm constantly blurry, and if I don't have them here. This book came out in, it says 1874, but this book is not that old. Here, I'm going to do another old man thing here. But I don't see it. Hold on. I'm going to go get my glasses. Hang on. I'm going to be in earshot. I'm just right over here. I just left them in the other room. So let me go find them, and I'll be right back. Glasses. And soda. All right, I'm back already. See? And those of you, by the way, who are new here, didn't I tell you? This is a casual show on Sunday. So, entered according to the Act of Congress, the year of 1874 is the publishing date of this. 1898 is the date on the publisher's page. So this book was published, this edition, in 1898. So this book is well over 100 years old. It's 125 years old, 126 years old. But I thought it was very interesting. It's from the library of Frederick J. Fox. Put his thing in there. And so I thought it would be interesting. I saw the title, and I thought it would be very interesting to see what this was all about. And I always love when I buy old books at the thrift stores, when you find stuff like this in the pages. Look at this. This was tucked in the pages. It doesn't have the year on it, but things like this. Look at this. Somebody ripped off some calendar pages. Oh, wait, 99. It says 1999, 1899. And you can tell by the handwriting style that is an old style of handwriting. Some of your grandparents write this way, and it looks like that. Champion of BB, somebody, Secretary Professor Eli, Senior Auctioneer. Oh, maybe this is Senior Auction. Would this be 1999? No, look at that right there. Look at the date that's ripped out. 1899, June 5th, 1899. What does that say? C. Chim 2.30-4.30. Laundry 08. That's interesting. So that's what's neat. You get some of these old books like this, and you find stuff like this tucked in the pages. And I think that that's very cool. I found things where there have been old postcards tucked in the pages of these old books, or I found an old flower pressed in the pages of an old book from the late 1800s. I've got a receipt here. Oh, that might be my receipt. Thank you again. May 2nd of 2024, $8.50. I don't remember paying $8 for this. I thought this was a quarter at the thrift store. They sell all their books at the thrift store. And now they've gotten smart about it because I got, like I told you, I got like the old the second edition of Ben-Hur and at the store, at the thrift store. It was over 100 years old and almost perfect shape back when they were selling books for a dime at the thrift store. Now they've gotten wiser to that, and they'll pull out the old, really old stuff, and they'll put them on a different shelf for $50. So it was just a bunch of old folks that were running that thrift store, and now they've gotten wise to it. Oh, you got to pull those out. You sell them for more money. So this is a reset tutorial. Oh, Susie Q, thank you. I'll take. See, it won't let me copy it. Why not? I can't click and select it. For some reason. Why won't it? Maybe I got to go over to YouTube and do that and grab it over there. Oh, YouTube, it actually comes up as a live link. So I can go, let's see if it lets me. Boom. There I can get to it. There it is. Reset. What device are they using? How to reset wireless ignition node lockout. Program new key fob with launch 431V plus. I have no idea what that means. I'll watch that later. Thank you, Susie Q. I'll take a look at that, see what device they're using, and see if I can make that happen. So, yeah, I don't like the lockout thing. I suppose it's to protect your car if somebody steals it, but at the same time, what if you just have to reset it? Why do I have to pay so much money to go into the store or the shop, the Honda dealership, and have them do it? Skol with Fresca. Ice on the top. I love Fresca, but I love it ice cold. That's like milk. If I drink milk, which I don't drink much milk anymore, now and then I'll have a bowl of cereal with milk. Now and then I get a craving, and I like milk. I like vitamin D milk. Don't give me that watered down cold water with a white crayon soaking in it milk. Skim milk, 1%, 2% fooey. It can passable at 2%. Vitamin D, red screw top, and whole milk. But I like it cold. I hate grabbing milk out of the fridge and it's like the next best step to being warm milk. I don't like warm milk. It's got to be ice cold. I will take sometimes a glass of milk and set it in the freezer and let it just around the rim starts to form a little ice ring. Now it's ready to drink. So, but I like my Fresca that way too. Fresca sponsoring this show. Not really. That would be nice. I should get some sponsors, huh? Let's set up some ads for people and sponsor things. But I've got my sponsorship for my own artwork that I can't play on here anymore unless I recut the audio. Because I made the mistake of flattening the bagpipe music 8 years ago when I first cut that ad. Oh, yeah, that did play. Oh, for Pete's sake. Oh, it's playing on YouTube because I had watched YouTube. And I had to that was at the very beginning this morning. and the thing wasn't working right. So that did start to play. How about that? All right. So that's why that popped up on my screen just now. Whole milk is the best. Yeah, I like it. I won't drink it straight from the udder. I like my milk pasteurized, but pasteurized, homogenized, sweet vitamin D. So, how difficult and lengthy would it be to redo the audio? Oh, not bad at all. I could recut it. There's nostalgia to the audio. Whenever I play that ad, they demonetize an episode. And yeah, I could just play it right now. I don't care. But I don't get much off of each episode anyway. I make like $50 a month off of my YouTube because I don't have multiple hundreds of thousands of viewers, which if I did, then I could be, what are those kids that do the stupid videos? They're making millions of dollars. They got 5 million followers watching their stupid antics. I don't do that kind of stuff. I deliver information, and I think I sometimes get tagged by YouTube. Oh, you can't say that because it's disinformation or misinformation. So I'm stuck at after 4 years, 2,000 followers. That's it on this show. So and I think that there is some deliberate holding back by certain criteria, which is sad. Same day is okay, yeah. Otherwise pasteurized. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I'd make more money on Twitch. I've never set anything up on Twitch. So it'd be nice if I could monetize this show. But the first thing I got to do is get this show out there to more than 2,000 people on this platform. So when we had the radio station going, Russ said I had about 5 on the low side, 7 on the high side, 1,000 listeners per night. And that was the audio version of the show over on Odyssey Radio. And but then Russ shut down Odyssey Radio. And so we're just doing YouTube now. But there you go. How does the algorithm change if we click like during live versus re-airings? That I don't know. I don't know enough about that. I do know that there's supposedly some rule that your monetization doesn't count for the live show, but it counts for the re-airings of the show. I thought I had heard that, and I got to read that somewhere now and look that up. I'm a Twitch junkie. It's kind of a problem. I mostly follow artists there. I should look into Twitch. I should do it and see if I can get the show up on Twitch. I know sometimes it's so many different, like right now, I'm airing live over on my Instagram channel. No, I'm not. You know why? Because I never turned the switch on. Because you got to go over and manually hit the switch. And here, now I'll hit the go live. So sorry, folks, if you're looking over on Instagram, sorry about that. We didn't hit the go button on Instagram. So the show's been live over on YouTube and Facebook and other places. So they only like produced, uploaded videos. Oh, okay, Griff says. Thank you for that. And, I used to do this show was all pre-recorded. Now I've been going live. I could pre-record this show. Would you all enjoy it as much if it was pre-recorded? I mean, everything we watch on television is pre-recorded, unless you're watching live news. Every show we enjoy, even information shows, we like to watch. They're all pre-recorded. They're all edited. They all have music. They all have overlapping sound and all of that. So, yeah, there's that. Here, I'll just play this because I can. Watch this. This is 1 minute long. And you'll hear the audio on this. Scott Allen, you asked about the audio. Why, if I could find the raw audio, which is on a disc somewhere, recorded, or it's gone, It was before I put the music in. Once I put the music in and I flattened it and saved it for radio, I can't take the bagpipe music out of the background. Here, listen to this. Here's the ad. You've all seen it before, but they demonetize every episode I play this because of the music, unless the bots miss it. Here we go. Stand by. We'll be right back after this 1 minute break.
You're listening to the Intrepid Radio program with Scotty Roberts. Intelligent Talk.
And bada boom, there you have it. That was the original cut. And I love it because Raini did that cut, as you could tell. And it was so much fun because she swore during the thing and we cut away. And I said, just do that. I'll just blank it out. I think it's cool. And then the little girl was sitting there, hire my dad so he can take me to Disneyland. It's a great cut. It's a nostalgic cut for me. But I can't find the raw recording of it anymore. It's all got the bagpipe music. And it's the bagpipe music underneath that it's a Gaelic storm piece. That's what they keep hitting me with copyright for. It doesn't count against my site. They just will demonetize the episode. And for me, anyway, because I've got a bagpipe piece playing underneath. And this is before they were all had their heads up their butts about it. This was 8 years ago. We made that. Rowan was 4 at the time we did that. She's 12 now. And it was perfectly permissible up until just a few years ago when everybody started getting all uptight about the copyright stuff. And I'm like, hey, it's right from YouTube. It's public on YouTube. Why can't it be public on my page? It just doesn't work that way. So it is silly. It's a way to have to make sure they don't have to pay me for my and it's not YouTube that looks, it's an independent organization. I get YouTube hits for copyright and all different kinds of things that I dispute. So it's interesting. If I were ever to go to my YouTube page and look at all the various here, look at this. This is how you can tell. If I present my page to you here right now, share my screen again, go to entire screen, and hit this and share. There we are. Let's go over to my YouTube page, and I can go to, let's just do a new page because I don't want to lose that. So we'll go over here and go YouTube. And from YouTube, I can go to my channel. And here's my channel if you've never seen it before. And so there it is. And by the way, right here, right next to this blue line right here, PayPal me. You can donate money so I can buy stuff there. But that takes usually a month to get to me. So, or you can do a super chat. Just if you want to throw money at this show, and it's there, you can do it. So we go from here, and I look at my videos, which are here. And on my videos, as you can see, I can go live because I do all my shows live. I go to my live page. Here's the page we're on right now. But I look at this. This is the show I did the other day, Spread Too Thin. That was on Monday. And it says limited. This is the first I'm seeing this. This video may earn limited or no revenue due to content identified as not suitable for most advertisers. And so what I do, I always hit this limited, and I go request review. That takes up to 7 days. I confirm the video meets all the advertiser standards. And sometimes they get taken up. I've had lots of videos that have done that. Partially blocked The Ghosts and Magic in Ancient Israel. Remember that show? When was that? June 22nd. Hi, puppy. The child has the puppy here. So things like this, limited. Fight the shit kicking. It's limited because I don't even know why it's limited. I have to go in and look at why they limited it. And they're so not, they don't give you any information. I'm sure this show will come up as limited within the hour of my ending this show. See, my monetization is off, but I had it on when I started. Let's turn it on again. Save. Let's see what happens with that. And then I got to go in here and make sure. I thought for sure that I put it on my playlists. So right now it's not set for it to show up anywhere. So I have to click these, Scotty's videos, the Intrepid broadcast, live streams, and it's Sunday. And done. And I got to save that. So maybe I had not set up the monetization. And then I go into customization and a live chat replay. You can't chat again, but it's live chat. And my monetization is on. Copyright, I don't have to worry about that. So I go back up to details, and you can go out, and now it's all set up for monetization and so on. But it's monetized unless you until it's the rebroadcast. So it's all the people who don't watch it live is my understanding of that. I got to look into that again. Stop screen. So there you go. So yeah, that's it. There goes my light. I don't know why. I moved the screen, which I've done before, and it knocked my light over this time. Anyway, there's Ellery and Lucy Fur. What you doing, puppy? Oh, there's my puppy. My fat puppy. All right. So, there's that. We got 5 minutes left, and we're out of here, folks. Lucky Stone, how you doing? Yes, YouTube. This is not a strike. We changed your video. Is a huge pain. Yeah, it is. And I've had them remove my videos. I've appealed them, and they put them back up. Oh, we're sorry. Our automated bot did that to you. Like, well, stop the over-automation. I get more stuff that I get hit with because of an automated bot. The one I don't like is Facebook or Instagram. I had, I do the TikTok every day with a daily reading, almost every day, card reading. And I will sometimes share that to my Facebook page or my YouTube page. My Instagram page. And I had, for the first time, Instagram came up and took my post down saying, we took this down because you're going against our community standards by trying to gain extra followers. And I'm like, what? I said, gain extra followers for my TikTok, for my Instagram page. And it was some lame excuse. And there's no recourse. You can't dispute it or anything. So I found a different way to write in, and I wrote them a letter and said, what about this post? Why did you take this down? Because I wasn't doing any of the things your bot accused me of doing. And I'm trying to spam people. Like, no, it's my page, and I was putting up a TikTok that I did. I'm not allowed to do that. I didn't see anything in the rules that said I can't share my TikTok page. And there's no way to dispute it when they do it. And it's like, this is where the big question comes in. Hey, Facebook, which now owns Instagram, Meta. Hey, Facebook. I really don't need you censoring my stuff. Why? Because you're supposed to be a platform, not a publisher. And that was a big thing. And it went into lawsuits and everything. Why does Instagram or Facebook, which are platforms, have the right to censor your content? Well, because they own it. But then if they do that, they make themselves a publisher of content as opposed to just being an open platform. I don't know. Yeah, you'd think they'd want you to have more followers. But they also limit followers. There are, like, Joe Rogan's a prime example. Wasn't there something with him on YouTube where he got locked down and they wouldn't allow him to get any more followers because he was delivering content they didn't approve of? That was against the narrative that YouTube pushes. So he left. He went to, what was the other one? Spotify. He's been on, I don't even know what he's on right now. Not Twitch. Maybe he's on Twitch too. There's the other one. Rumble. Maybe he's on Rumble. I don't know exactly where he is now doing his main show. But he's got millions upon millions of followers. Guess what, YouTube? You're losing out on that revenue. Why? Because he said stuff that you didn't agree with politically. So what nonsense. And so YouTube was pushing a narrative. Facebook was pushing a narrative. And it's like the one time, and I like to rub this salt in that wound, that Professor Bauer got one of my shows demonetized because he said something, and it lasted all of 30 seconds in a 2-hour plus show about something about the big pandemic and hiring practices prior to it becoming the pandemic with the military, with the this and that. And all. Anyway, it's more specific than that. And that's all he said. And I said, yeah, we're not, but yeah, we'll talk about that some other time. We were on a different topic. I got demonetized for that, at least on that episode, because they said I was delivering medical disinformation. And I wrote back and I said to YouTube, I said, could you please cite the place in the video where I'm delivering any kind of medical information at all? He was talking about jobs and hiring pre-COVID and in the military. And it had nothing to do with medical disinformation. I said, so you've just tagged me for medical disinformation when I wasn't talking about anything medical. And I said, it was actually a guest on the show that said something. And I said, we moved on from it. We didn't even discuss that topic. So it's like, what the hell are you talking about? And I think they eventually they had pulled the episode too. And they eventually put it back up because I delivered a good enough argument. But I think my account is marked because my account gets no play. And it took a year to go from 1,000. I had only 1,000 people listening to this show, 1,200 for a year. And you remember me saying this a couple of months ago. I looked one day and I said, I've only got 1.2 thousand. I looked and I was at 2.1 thousand. I thought, oh, I just had 1,000 person jump in a few days. How did that happen? So I think they limit you sometimes because you are preaching something different than their narrative. And so, or the narrative that the government has told. Now there's that big Supreme Court thing too that went for, and they ruled, it was a really weak ruling. And that's, it was about companies, that the government could tell companies what to allow on broadcast sites like this. And the Supreme Court upheld it. And it's like, that's not constitutional. Why did you do that? But see, I'm not calling for the impeachment of anybody either as a result. I just said that was dumb. Maybe this can be revisited sometime. Anyway, it is now 11:02. And you know what that means? It means we're done. I got other things to do today. I'm sure you do too. Thanks for sticking with me. Coming on in for a couple of hours on a Sunday morning. We'll be back tomorrow, 9 p.m. Central, right here with Intrepid Radio. And we'll have, I'm sure, a good topic. I don't even know what it is yet. So, but we'll get on something here. And I thank you for being here. And we'll see you tomorrow night. You have a good rest of your Sunday. Live long and prosper.